Black Dahlia, America's most mysterious murder case. At 10 a.m. on January 15, 1947, Mrs. Betty Bersinger was walking with her 3-year-old daughter when she suddenly discovered a naked body cut into pieces in a vacant lot on the west side of South Norton Avenue, the city. Los Angeles, California, USA. Police later identified the victim as Elizabeth Short, better known by her stage name Black Dahlia. Since then, 75 years have passed, but the police still have not found the culprit even though the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has listed 150 subjects as suspects. Unintelligible evidence. According to the FBI, the results of the study found cuts on the victim's body that were made very professionally, indicating that the perpetrator could be a monk or a skilled estate killer. Elizabeth's face was pitted from difficulty to ear, entire thigh muscles and disappeared. Body was cut in half at waist level, skid, old flakes pushed down, arms wrapped around head, legs outstretched. Although Elizabeth's skull was not broken, there was a purple-black mark on the front and right side leading to a hematoma. Nearby, police also found a clog on the ground between the tire tracks and a special bag used to protect cement, with blood inside. The director determined that the victim died 10 hours before, making blows to the head and equipment before being dissected. The job of saving fingerprints for the character as Elizabeth Short. Born on July 29, 1924 in Boston, Massachusetts, and after many changes of residence, Elizabeth's last settlement was Los Angeles, California. Here, Elizabeth works for the nightclub Florentine Gardens on Hollywood Avenue. Elizabeth's body and beauty have attracted the attention of several film directors. Although she has never been invited to a movie, Elizabeth still claims to be an actress and gives herself the stage name, Black Dahlia. Over the next few days, police questioned people believed to have known or been intimate with Elizabeth, but all proved that they did not meet Elizabeth before her death. 6 days later, on January 21, 1947, James Richardson, editor of the Los Angeles Examiner, received a phone call from an unknown person claiming to have killed Elizabeth. During the conversation, the anonymous person congratulated the Examiner for reporting very detailed and accurate coverage of the Black Dahlia's death, and said Richardson will receive some souvenirs. On January 24, the U.S. Post Office discovered an envelope addressed to Richardson. According to the FBI, inside the envelope was a piece of paper with individual letters, cut out of newspapers and pasted. This is the Black Dahlia's belongings, along with a birth certificate, business card, and a picture of Elizabeth. All are impregnated with gasoline to remove fingerprints. Also on the same day, the cleaning staff discovered in a trash can 3 kilometers away from the crime scene, a handbag and a black suede shoe that, according to witnesses, belonged to Elizabeth but had been cleaned. Clean with gasoline. On March 14, beach management staff discovered a pile of crumpled men's clothing, including a blue fabric jacket and pants, brown and white 2 t-shirts, white jockey shorts and white jockey shorts. A brown moccasin woman's shoe at the edge of Breeze Avenue by the sea. Inside the shoe, they found a letter, believed to be a suicide note, scribbled in pencil. I waited for the police to arrest me for the murder of Black Dahlia but didn't find it. I'm too cowardly to turn myself in, so this is the best way out for me. I can't stop myself from doing it. Sorry. The incident was reported to the West Los Angeles Police Department. Conducting an examination of the handwriting on the paper, the police suspected Mark Hansen as the culprit. This character owns a nightclub and movie theater near the place of the murder, and is also an acquaintance of Elizabeth. When he questioned Mark, he confirmed the shoe belonged to Elizabeth but denied he was the author of the letter. According to the testimony of Ann Toth, Elizabeth's roommate, Elizabeth once refused when Mark suggested sex, and that may be the reason why Mark killed Elizabeth. However, on the day that Elizabeth was killed, Mark was in San Francisco and there were many witnesses to confirm, so Mark was excluded. In addition to Mark, the Los Angeles police questioned more than 150 men believed to be suspects, but there was not enough evidence to convict a single person. A total of 750 investigators were involved in the case and various locations were searched, including entire sewers throughout Los Angeles, abandoned structures, and empty apartment buildings. Mr. Lloyd G. Davis, city councilor, has offered a reward of $10,000 equivalent to $130,356 today, for anyone providing information leading to the arrest of the perpetrator, but all have not responded. Replied. On January 26, the examiner received another letter, this time handwritten, which read, "Here it is, Wednesday, January 29. I will turn myself in at 10 a.m. I'm very happy with the police. Black Dahlia Avenger." The letter also named a place where the alleged perpetrator would turn himself in, but despite waiting all day, the police still did not see anyone, but instead at 1 p.m., the examiner received another letter, but this time it was a collage of text. "I changed my mind. You guys didn't give me a fair deal. It was justifiable to kill Dahlia." Analyzing the words in the two letters, the police diverted their suspicions that Elizabeth was gay. So they interrogated employees and guests who frequented gay clubs in Los Angeles, but found nothing. In an interview with the press, Officer Jack Donahue, the lead investigator, believes that Elizabeth's murder took place in a remote home in the suburbs of Los Angeles and that the body was moved to the city for mutilation. In mid-February, police asked the University of Southern California School of Medicine, located near the site where Elizabeth's body was discovered, to provide a list of all students attending, as well as those who graduated in the last 5 years. But like the gay test, this list doesn't say anything that might help the investigation. Unexpected developments. From there, the death of Black Dahlia came to a dead end. And while all was forgotten, Ralph Asdell, one of the first investigators on the case, told The Times that he believed he had met Elizabeth's killer. It was a man with a blue and white Ford four-seater parked near the vacant lot where her body was found. When police arrived, the man was driving away, and because he was busy with securing the scene, Ralph Asdell did not enter the vehicle number. Reopening the file, the FBI knew this person was George Hill Hodel Jr., a surgeon, also on the list of 150 suspects but never charged. Before the Elizabeth case, Hodel was accused of being involved in the death of his private secretary and had been to court for raping his own daughter but was acquitted because of no evidence. According to investigator Ralph Asdell, more than a month after the murder of Elizabeth, on February 10, 1947, the police discovered the body of a young woman, Jean French, lying naked on the sidewalk of Grandview Avenue, Los Angeles, Belly. The victim had the words written in lipstick, "Fuck you BD," with 3 letters text, so Mr. Ralph Asdell believed that the word BD could be Black Dahlia, Black Dahlia. However, when the police proceeded to summon Hodel, he had disappeared. In a statement, Officer Jack Donahue, who led the investigation, said the Black Dahlia case and the Jean French case were likely related. Once again, both deaths fell into a stalemate, but with the FBI, the case of Black Dahlia and Jean French was not closed. It wasn't until 2013, when James Collins, an investigative journalist for the Los Angeles Examiner, was rummaging through the material for his article, he suddenly read a piece of news, saying, September 15, 1981, Philippine police discovered the naked body of a young girl cut into pieces on the island of Cebu, next to a cement bag full of blood. This piece of news reminded Collins of Elizabeth's death because it had very similar details. Immediately, Collins flew to Cebu. Here Philippine police said they have not found the culprit even though the incident happened 32 years ago. Ask more about an American named George Hill Hodel Jr. Strangely enough, the police said he was a doctor who opened a clinic in Cebu in 1950, but in 1990, Hodel returned to the U.S. The results of the FBI's examination showed that after returning from the Philippines, Dr. Hodel lived in San Francisco, California and passed away in 1999. An unlucky fate makes an FBI officer, Steve Hodel, the son of Hodel. According to Steve, Hodel ran away from home when he was 9 years old, and since then, he has never seen his father again. Once again, the record of Elizabeth's death was restored. Steve personally went to San Francisco and learned that after his father died, because there were no relatives, the police gave Hodel's relics to Cummins Funeral Home to manage. In the Cummins Funeral Archives, among Hodel's relics, Steve finds a photo album hidden in a wooden box. When opened, in addition to photos of Hodel, his mother and his brothers, there were also 2 photos of a young woman that when Steve saw it, Steve exclaimed, "Oh my God, what a Black Dahlia." The results of the analysis of these 2 photos with those of Elizabeth stored in the FBI archives show that they are the same person. However, the supplementary material for the Black Dahlia case is only so much more if not for the handwritten letter sent by an unknown person to the Los Angeles Examiner of January 26, 1947 which, when compared with the text, Hodel's writings have similarities, and the house Dr. Hodel bought in 1945 in Los Angeles is only 10 kilometers from the scene where Elizabeth's body was found. However, according to the FBI, they are still unable to conclude that Hodel is the culprit because the evidence is too weak because Hodel's car cannot be found to compare with the car and a man that investigator Ralph Asdell saw parked near the vacant lot with the tire tracks, where the black Dahlia body was discovered. Currently, Steve is 74 years old and retired. In an interview with a number of newspapers, Steve said that, "I never dared to say that my father was the murderer, but with a wealth of evidence gathered, my father is still the leading suspect in the Elizabeth case." On the FBI's side, Black Dahlia is the most mysterious murder in criminal history in the United States, and the Elizabeth case will not be closed until they find the killer even though he may be dead.